sketch the basic idea of the Kano model. So we have two axes. We have an x-axis and a y-axis in the model. And the x-axis stands for the implementation level of a customer characteristic. So here on the right, we have a characteristic of your product, a characteristic of your product or service is fully implemented. And here on the left side, you have that characteristic is absent. Now the y-axis indicates the customer satisfaction. So here you have satisfied customer, and here you have a very unhappy customer. Next, Kano proposed 5 different categories of customer wants and needs, and we'll look at 3 of them here. And just be aware that people use different terminology. I tried to put as much as I could together, but these are the 3 main attributes that Kano was emphasizing. The first is the basic or expected quality, and it looks like this. These requirements are not usually mentioned by customers. These are mentioned only when they're absent from the product. So you see, if you're in the absent area, you have a very unhappy customer. But even if they're fully 100% implemented, the customer is still not happy. These are things that are expected from the product. Next, we have green line here, characteristics that meet performance quality. This can be called, actually maybe I should write this down. The blue is here's your basic or expected quality. And here we have the performance or one-dimensional. And what this means that whenever you have an increase in performance, as your performance improves, you have an increase in satisfaction. There's a linear relationship between the customer satisfaction with the increase in the performance. The more, the better. Then finally, we have a category called the delighters, or the excitement or attractive quality. And these look like this. Note, you don't even have to be fully implemented and your customer is happy. These are excitement or attractive quality. The delighters or the wow characteristics. These are often also not discussed. You're not often asked to express what you dream about. Creation of some excitement features in a design differentiates the product from expectations. These delighters, these excitement and attractive quality characteristics are unexpected. Now let's look at a neater drawing. Here you see the 3 basic characteristics listed here. Again, basic quality characteristics are required for entering a market. Here you need certain features of your product or service which are common and offered by the competition as well. They're maybe not specifically identified, but the customer will be dissatisfied if these features are not present. And these basic needs do not improve the customer satisfaction in any way. For example, on a bicycle, what do you expect? Expect some wheels, a frame, brakes, for example. And here the blue line indicates that there's no increase in satisfaction as these basic features are implemented. But if they're absent, no wheels, you're not going to be happy with your bike. The performance or one-dimensional quality in green, these provide an increase in satisfaction as the performance increases. For a bicycle, this could be the weight of the bike. The lighter the bike, the happier you are. It could be the number of gears. or maybe additional components. You have you have a bike with lights, you'll be happier than one without. On the last one is the red one, the excitement or attractive quality features. These are unexpected and they delight the customers. Now, what could this be for your bike? Depends on what kind of bike rider you are. For me, it'd be nice to have an electric motor on the bike. Or maybe you could have a built-in bike lock. I had this just on my exam, and one of the answers was an automatic roof that comes up when it rains. And I said, okay. But I think generally you're looking for something that will delight the customer, that also is not too far-fetched. Delighters, though, they will differentiate your product from the competition. They'll create customer loyalty, and they'll build, in addition, your brand equity. People will come back for more of your products. Now, the Kano model allows us to categorize these different wants and needs of the customers into these different categories. We also have three different, two more categories that are not emphasized here: indifferent quality and reverse quality. So indifferent quality features are those to which the customer attaches no importance, and that could be, for example, the rain hood. These features, if you have parameters that your customer is simply not interested in, they don't create any satisfaction, but nor do they create dissatisfaction. Reverse quality features are those which result in dissatisfaction, often due to the fact that not all customers are alike. A good example is if you have great features, but it makes the product too complex, then the customer can't handle it and they become dissatisfied. But again, we're focusing on the three: basic quality, performance quality, and excitement quality. Now, even with my bike example, obviously different customer groups have different ideas of what quality features should be. And additionally, an attribute will drift over time from excitements to performance and then finally to basic. This drift is driven by customer expectations and by the level of performance from competing products. And an example that Professor Indrajit gave us was that mobile phone batteries, they were originally very large and bulky with only a few hours of charge, but now we expect 12 hours of battery life, very slim, lightweight phones. The battery attributes have had to change to keep up with our customer expectations. Here's another example from Professor Mukherjee for a Kano diagram for a hotel room. And it depends on the customer group. But for a simple holiday, maybe for the basic quality, you would expect a clean bathroom. If you're a backpacker, you maybe just share a bathroom, but you expect it to be clean. You expect to have a choice between a non-smoking and a smoking room. Those are basic attributes that you don't look for a hotel based on those. Those are ones you expect. Performance quality, and you see this in the hotel industry, how can they lure their customers? How can they create something that will cause the customer satisfaction to increase? Free breakfast, lower room price, convenient location, maybe checkout flexi time. All things that are not unique will not delight, but if you get a free breakfast, you're more likely to choose one hotel than another. Excitement quality, it depends on who you are. I prefer that they don't welcome me by name, but maybe you attach a lot of importance to this personal service. Maybe you want to have a choice of pillows. Maybe they give you a bottle of wine on your bed. Whatever makes you happy. Those are the things that differentiate then your choice from the competition and make you think, I'll come back there again. So these are the basics of the Kano model, and now we just want to show you two short slides on how we can use this information. The first here is the Kano questionnaire. We need to discover what does the customer want and how does the customer view this? How does the customer prioritize this? So we create then a questionnaire where different attributes, different characteristics are identified. And the customer can then express how they feel about these different attributes or characteristics. The questionnaire consists of a pair of questions, a functional form of the question. Where's my pen? A functional form of the question and a dysfunctional form of the question. This is very important. The functional asks our customer how they feel if they have a feature. While the other question, the dysfunctional form, asks how they feel if they do not have the feature. And with these responses, so you have I like, I expect, I do not care, I can live with it, and I dislike it. So, for example, if the room has a smoking preference, how do you feel? Well, as a customer, I say, I expect that. I expect my room to say whether it's smoking or not smoking. I expect to have that choice. If the room does not have a smoking preference, I would say, I dislike that. I am not happy. Correct the English here. Has a smoke. So, two different responses. One functional, it has something I expect. One dysfunctional, it doesn't have something, and I actually dislike it. Now what we want to do is to graph these in an evaluation table. And it looks like this. So you have on this side here the functional question response, and this side the dysfunctional response. So I said for the functional question, does my room have a smoking preference? I expect that. It must be there. But if it doesn't, then I dislike it. And so in this table, we see the different attributes. We see the 0 indicating the performance, the one-dimensional quality. This is the linear increase we talked about. We see the expected quality here. This should be in blue. Expected quality, things that we expect basic quality to have. And we see here this excitement, attractive quality. Could write this in blue, your basic quality here. And in green, we have our one-dimensional performance quality. And everything else in this table, either we have reverse quality or indifferent quality, or we have a questionable response. So if our responses lie outside of these upper and right edges, then clearly there's something that it either doesn't matter to the customer, or the response is questionable, or it's a reverse quality where too much is not acceptable. So we take that data, and for example, we say, I have a total of, change my color again here. I have a total of 23 respondents, and I have 5 different attributes that I'm looking at. For example, smoking, non-smoking, clean bathroom, non-clean bathroom, bottle of wine, no bottle of wine. So of those 5 attributes, we go ahead and ask them the functional and dysfunctional questions in the Kano questionnaire. And for the first attribute, 3 people, when we put them in the table, they came out that they had, that attribute was exciting. It was an attractive quality. It was a wow, a delighter. 6 of the respondents said, nope, that's just what they expect. If that's not there, they're not happy. Whereas 14 of my 23 respondents said, yeah, if it's there, good. I'm happier. I will. The more the better. Linear performance. And since this is the largest response box, we categorize that with an O. And you go through the rest of them. In this case, number 2 was also, most respondents said that it was a one-dimensional performance quality. Here we have for attribute number 3, people were indifferent. Maybe that was the wine. People were indifferent. For the expected for the number 4, people were looking at that as expected quality, and for number 5, they found that exciting. They found that attractive. And so when you're designing your product, you would use these 5 different attributes, and you would say, how should we prioritize these? Clearly, attribute 3 is not important. And Attribute 4, we need to have that. It's expected. Attribute 1 and 2, we can improve those, make them better, give more, and we would likely see an increase in customer satisfaction. And if we can include number 5 as our wow, as our delighter, we would then increase our brand image, we would increase customer loyalty, it will make our customers delighted. So that's the basic idea of the Kano model. I want to thank again Professor Mukherjee from ITT Bombay, and thank you for your attention.